TigerWoods now faces a pivotal decision, whether to allow Brooks Koepka to return to the PGA Tour.
Breaking news on this Friday. Brooks Koepka has applied for reinstatement of his PGA Tour membership.
Have chosen to go to live and to play there. I disagree with it. I think that what they've done is they've turned their back on what has allowed them to get to this position.
Koepka has formally submitted his application for reinstatement, while Brian Rolap, a behind-the-scenes PGA Tour executive, holds the final authority. He is taking guidance from a newly established future competition committee. Leading that committee is none other than Tiger Woods. And this is where the story takes an intriguing turn.
PGA Tour could do here, they could obviously open the door and go, come on Brooks, come back to the PGA Tour. Or they could also set that precedent of making the player sit out and take a one-year ban and maybe playing a different tour, as we mentioned, like the DP World Tour, before he comes back in. But I see this as a major advantage because of how fractured the game is.
Tiger is the same man who famously turned down a staggering $700 to $800 million to stay loyal to the PGA Tour at the height of the LIV golf controversy. Now, in an unexpected twist, he wields real influence over whether one of LIV's biggest stars, someone who reportedly took over $100 million to jump ship, can return as if nothing ever happened. And this isn't just about a single player. The stakes are much higher. This decision could reshape the future of professional golf and force the sport to answer a critical question: does loyalty to the tour still mean anything, or has it become just another negotiable asset?
Waiting for guaranteed money. What is the incentive to practice? What is the incentive to go out there and earn it in the dirt? You're just getting paid a lot of money up front and playing a few events and playing 54 holes.
Let's take a step back and examine how we got here, because this story has layers that many casual fans don't fully appreciate. When LIV Golf exploded onto the scene in 2022, backed by what seemed like virtually unlimited Saudi funding, players were suddenly faced with a choice, and the stakes were immediate. The PGA Tour had long been their home, the proving ground where careers were shaped and legends were made through years of relentless, week-in, week-out competition.
News in the world of golf late last night. Five-time major champion Brooks Koepka has quit LIV.
LIV presented a completely different model. Guaranteed money with no cuts, 54-hole events instead of the usual 72, team-based formats, and long-term contracts that made even the wealthiest PGA Tour players stop and reconsider everything they thought they knew about professional golf.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I signed up for the dough. I'm 100% behind that. I don't know, tomorrow I can go get in a car accident and never play golf again, but my family's taken care of. And that was a big thing for me, not doing it for anything else.
Koepka opted for the guaranteed money, reportedly securing well over $100 million to join what many called the Rebel Tour. The PGA Tour responded swiftly and decisively. He, along with every other player who defected, was suspended for a full 2 years. The punishment was total no PGA Tour events, no qualification pathways, nothing. Koepka had made his choice, and from the tour's perspective, he had to face the consequences. The initial wave of departures to LIV shook the golf world. Phil Mickelson went first, and once that door opened, the floodgates followed. Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, Patrick Reed, and eventually Brooks Koepka all made the leap. Each announcement hit like a gut punch to the tour's loyalists, who still believe in the traditional structure and values of professional golf.
Action to Brooks Koepka filing for reinstatement.
No big surprise, Rich. There have been some reporting and some rumblings over the last year or so that Brooks wasn't all that happy necessarily on LIV Golf. I think that we've seen over the last few years that, but for a handful of players, maybe Bryson DeChambeau most notably, a lot of the players that have gone to LIV have not kept up their competitive energy from when they were on the PGA.
When LIV Golf emerged, Commissioner Jay Monahan acted decisively, suspending defectors and making it clear that taking Saudi-backed money meant burning bridges with the PGA Tour. Players couldn't have it both ways. To retain remaining stars, the tour introduced elevated events with bigger purses and tighter fields. Brooks Koepka's departure stood out. He waited, saw the backlash, understood the consequences, and still joined LIV in June 2022. By late 2024, the PGA Tour and LIV's backers quietly began merger talks, reportedly allowing a path for reinstatement. Koepka, still a major winning elite player, sees that opportunity, reopening the door to the tour.
Who have chosen to go to live and to play on, to play there. I disagree with it. I think that what they've done is they've turned their back on what has allowed them to get to this position.
Unless you're deeply embedded in golf's inner workings, the name Brian Rolapp likely doesn't ring any bells, and that's precisely the point. Rolapp is a senior PGA Tour executive who operates mostly behind the scenes, shaping policy, overseeing competition structure, and guiding the tour's long-term strategy. He isn't the commissioner. That role still belongs to Jay Monahan, but when it comes to player eligibility and enforcing the competitive framework, Rolapp wields real authority. In Brooks Koepka's case, he is the man officially responsible for the decision on whether Koepka can return to the tour. But the real story isn't Rolapp's signature. It's who he has to consult before any final determination. Rolapp is expected to take significant guidance from a newly formed future competition committee, a body created to help define what the PGA Tour looks like in the years ahead. And at the head of that committee sits TigerWoods. That fact alone shifts the narrative dramatically. Think about the symbolism. TigerWoods reportedly turned down between $700 and $800 million to remain loyal to the PGA Tour during the height of the LIV golf upheaval. He didn't just stay silent. He stepped into governance, joined the board, and actively defended the tour's structure, legacy, and competitive integrity. This is the same TigerWoods who consistently spoke about preserving what the PGA Tour represents. And now, he has influence over whether one of LIV's highest-profile defectors, Koepka, is allowed back or told to continue on the 54-hole circuit he chose. It's almost poetic, the modern era's most loyal star now helping decide the fate of one of the sport's biggest defectors. The Future Competition Committee isn't just Tiger, of course. Reports indicate it includes other influential players and tour officials tasked with advising on competition format, eligibility rules, and the tour's long-term direction. Formed in 2024 as part of a broader restructuring effort to give players a voice in governance, the committee carries real weight. Still, Tiger's role as chair is unique, not just because of his position, but because of his status and the strong voice he's been throughout the LIV split. When Koepka's case lands on that table, Tiger's opinion will matter immensely. Tiger isn't just another voice in the room. He represents a philosophy of professional golf. He reshaped the sport, brought unprecedented money and global attention to the PGA Tour, and still valued the grind of week-in, week-out competition. He could have taken a near billion-dollar deal and walked away without explanation, but he stayed. Every time LIV came with bigger offers, Tiger said no. He believed in earning your place season after season, through competition and persistence. Now comes the moment that tests that belief, deciding whether players who rejected the traditional model should be allowed back. The process is complicated. Rolapp has final authority, but he doesn't act alone. Advisory committees, policy boards, and legal frameworks provide guidance, and that's where things get complex. The PGA Tour must balance competitive integrity, business strategy, player relations, sponsor expectations, and fan sentiment all at once. Each group has competing priorities. Sponsors want star power. TV networks want compelling storylines and ratings. Fans want to see the best players compete, but they also want consequences to mean something. Players who stayed loyal want a clear answer. Did loyalty matter? There are three main paths forward, each sending a distinct message about the tour's values. The first is full reinstatement. Koepka returns, pays any fines, and resumes his place on the schedule as if the last 2 years never happened. It's player-friendly, signaling forgiveness and prioritizing elite talent, but it risks undermining credibility. The second option is conditional reinstatement. Koepka returns with restrictions, probationary terms, limited event access, or financial penalties. This acknowledges consequences while still allowing a path back. For many, it's the most credible compromise. The third option is outright rejection. Rolapp and the committee deny the application, sending a strong message about loyalty, but risking backlash from fans and partners who want the best players together. From a competitive standpoint, Koepka belongs on the PGA Tour. He has won majors since joining LIV, remains an elite player, and under championship pressure, has been as reliable as anyone of his generation. But this isn't just about performance, it's about precedent. Allowing Koepka back with minimal consequences would signal that you can take guaranteed money, skip obligations for years, and return a convenience. TigerWoods understands this more than anyone. Precedent may be the most important factor. If Koepka returns easily, current players may see loyalty as optional. Those who decline life-changing money could feel betrayed. Rory McIlroy, the public face of resistance to LIV, would appear to have stood for nothing. Once credibility is lost, it's difficult to regain. At the same time, there's a strong business argument for reinstatement. Majors are more compelling when Koepka competes. Regular tour events gain attention when elite players are on the leaderboard. Ratings, sponsorships, and fan engagement improve when talent isn't split across rival tours. Timing adds further complexity. Koepka's application comes while broader PGA Tour LIV negotiations remain unresolved. Framework agreements and talks have been reported, but nothing has been finalized publicly. LIV still exists. Suspensions remain. Koepka's application forces the tour to address reinstatement before the larger picture is settled. The next domino is clear. If Koepka is approved, does it open the door for others Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, Phil Mickelson? Or is Koepka treated as a special case because of his elite performance and major relevance? The first decision sets the blueprint for all that follows. TigerWoods hasn't publicly commented and likely won't until a decision is made, but his perspective will shape the committee's discussion. Seen as the tour's conscience, which shows loyalty over money and earned the authority to define what loyalty should mean. When he speaks, people listen. This decision is bigger than Brooks Koepka. It's about power, precedent, and legacy, and it could define the next era of professional golf.